Listen to the litter of kids that are in with us for Adoption Awareness Week. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
You sure? Because you were so talkative just a moment ago. Hey, how are you? The Royaards are along with us. This is Eric and Blythe Royaard, along with their 5 kids, and this is Adoption Awareness Week. Adoption has touched so many families. Allison's and Tim, they're in the middle of their adoption story right now as they're waiting for a match. 9 years ago, I adopted a little guy, and his name is Elijah. He's in our family. And their adoption story, Eric and Blythe's, is so beautiful. Now, they have one that's adopted domestically, 2 biological children, and it wasn't too long ago that they had this random conversation with an old friend, and this really kind of changed the course of your lives, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah, how so?
Okay.
Well, so we knew that we wanted to adopt when we got married. We knew that that would eventually be a part of our story. And when we adopted him and Kate domestically, we thought that that had kind of fulfilled that dream that we knew the Lord was calling us to do. And so it was a big surprise when we were talking to Rachel one day, and she kind of just explained to us about international adoption, and we honestly had no idea. And it just kind of revealed the truth to us, I guess, and just kind of showed us.
Yeah, we kind of had our eyes open to the reality of the adoption crisis, especially internationally, especially with special needs. And so it just kind of brought us into this path and brought us into God pushing us and pulling us to do some things that were a little bit out of our comfort zone. And so we're looking at some advocacy sites for international adoption, and we saw Nikolas's picture, and it just stole our hearts. We were like, he's ours. He's got to be ours.
Yeah,
so
he was there for what, 6 years in Bulgaria, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
how did he come into your home?
Well, like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody, the kids have done so great. They, Hendrix especially, has just, it's like he's always been here. I mean, he's always been a part of our family, and it was like.
Yeah, so Nicolas had he was in an orphanage where there were a lot of special needs children, and not treated the best. And when we went over to visit, they were very separated trips. But when we went over to visit the first time, we had a chance to meet him, and I mean, he was this. Through all the the adversity that he had been through, he was this joyous, just amazed to be with us, and so happy to see us, little child. And there was a big period between the trips to get him, and between that, we left pictures with him and stuff, and he was just holding on to all those memories of us being there that first time, so that knowing that we were going to be coming back for him. And then when we showed up the second time, I can't explain the.
He was on the playground, and the nannies called into him and said, "Your mom and dad are here," and we have this video of him screaming and just running into the orphanage to meet us, and it was just such a sweet moment.
You had mentioned that Nicolas went through a lot of adversity, and I understand there was some abuse from other kids.
There was, yep, from other kids and from nannies. But we feel like the Lord just had a bubble around him, because what he's been through, he is just the most amazing little boy. And
he looks so happy.
He is.
We get little snippets every now and then that he lets us know, just memories. And I think he's been protected from a lot of those memories, as a lot of them don't resurface, but occasionally some of the memories of the abuse and just the things that he went through do come up, and he shares them with us. And again, yeah, the fact that he's been brought out of that and saved from all that, I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to be able to be a part of.
There was this one conversation that you guys had filmed that is really touching, because you started asking him about should people actually consider adopting, and this is what Nicolas said.
If there's people here in America that want to go and adopt some more kids from Bulgaria, would you say yes to go do it, or no?
Yes. Go away.
Go right away?
What?
Run?
Yeah.
Last year, you welcomed another special needs child into your lives, Zeb. He was 1 year old. He's from the Ukraine. How did you know he was meant to be in your family?
So I found his picture. So the friend that we had the conversation with, she was at his orphanage, and so we saw his picture, and I texted it to Eric, and Eric said, "Oh, he's really cute, but we're not adopting him." And so then
We have 4 kids at this point in time.
So then I just started dropping hints like, "Oh, well, we could fit another car seat in our car," or, "Wouldn't it be so nice to have another kid at the dinner table tonight?" And so eventually the Lord just moved his heart, and he said, he sent me a card and a picture and said that he was ready. And at that point, I said, "Oh, I don't know if we can do this," And yeah, so we totally flip-flop roles, and I just realized that after a while that it was just my fear of man and just
Fear of the unknown.
And just worrying about, different sacrifices that we were going to have to make. And then just realized that this is what the Lord wants for our family, and we were willing to make those sacrifices. And
one of the cool things with him is that we never really got to the point where we were like both 100% full steam ahead, ready to go. But through conversations, through just talking with different friends and mentors, we got to the point where we were like, this is what God's calling us to do. We're going to move. We know enough, and we're pushed enough to go ahead and move forward. And if God decides that if this is not what we're supposed to do, He's going to shut some doors. And so he continued to open the doors through fundraising, through just everything that we were able to get together for him. And his adoption was, Blythe made 3 trips to Ukraine in a month and a half, which was crazy. And we got to get him home very, very quickly. So.
You mentioned you've made a lot of sacrifices. I'm sure there's a lot of entertainment that you can't go to a lot. You can't go to a ton of movies, You can't go to a lot of concerts. Chris Tomlin's going to be in town this weekend, so I'm sure it's like, well, I can't bring my whole family to go see Chris Tomlin.
Yeah.
Well, we're thinking since Chris Tomlin and the Good Good Father Tour is going to be in Greenville, South Carolina on Sunday, that we'd secure a whole row of tickets for you. So for your and Jim's got them right here.
Oh, look at this.
For your family, we have tickets, and they have a lot in their family. There's 7 in the family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You got great seats. It's going to be at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Can you sketch the time out on Sunday night to go?
Yeah, I think
so.
we can do that.
I think we
do y'all
can
want to
make it
go?
work. Do you want to go?
Yeah.
There's excitement now with the kids. Well, we are so grateful for what you have done, what you mean for adoption. Adoption Awareness Week, and your family is just absolutely amazing. Royaards, thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you
y'all
very
for the
much.
opportunity to come in.
Share.
What did you say, Disney World?
Oh, look at this.